Yeah, a more less passive approach.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Assertive.
Yeah, assertive. Yeah, usually I'm more passive and let
You're a
people.
nice guy.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it comes down to. So I'm pushing that out and looking to shift a few things.
Yes, I'm a nice guy too. I'm a recovering nice guy.
There you go. I'm
I'm
looking
I'm a refugee from the Nice Guys Club.
for
They want me back.
yeah.
Part of me wants to be back.
You've
But
always been a nice guy.
What do they say? Nice guys finish last.
I don't
Uncle
believe
Claude?
that. I don't believe that. I think you could be a nice person, a decent person, and still make a lot of money.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I think so too. I'm not encouraging anybody to go out there and be a shyster. Is that even a word anymore? A shyster?
It's a derogatory term for a recovering attorney, so be very careful.
Oh, that's great. Well, now
I'm
that
in a
we've all.
snowstorm.
Oh yeah,
I'm in another snowstorm.
that's great.
Woo.
Great. It's all snowy out there. How much you going to get today?
Probably about another half foot. I think we have about 180 inches of snow already this winter. And usually we get
Wow.
about 300, but it's only early January. So might be a record-setting year.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds crazy. Well, you got to. How do you unbury?
How do I what?
Well, we out here in Kansas City, we might get 8 inches if it's a big storm. We might get 2 rounds of a big storm, and we get 8 and then 8. I've seen that. And that's 16 inches. That's a bunch, and it makes a mess. It shuts everything down for like a week and a half. Like what does it do out there? You guys are prepared for it though, right?
It was really, I remember about 9 years ago, we had a 7-foot snowstorm, the storm of the millennium.
Yeah.
And the principal of we have a small school system here, I'm up in the mountains, little town. And it was the first time in 25 years that they had to close the school. Yeah. And the principal really hated to be the guy who broke the record. He had to break the record.
Yeah. That stinks.
What happened to lovely Christina? Where did she go?
I think she's in Texas. I don't think it's snowing there. What about where you at, Tim John?
I am in Fort Worth, and it's I don't know how warm it is outside, but
Texas people.
60 degrees.
And we have David. I think he's originally from Texas. Is that correct?
Yeah, Houston, Texas.
Man, what's up? We are surrounded by Texans today.
God, they're taking over.
Ooh, I know. They multiplying?
Everybody. The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart
of Texas.
Y'all left me hanging. Come on, I ain't even from Texas.
Yeah, I'm a New York, New Jersey boy, and I sang better than none of the Texans joined in.
Yeah, isn't that the state song down there?
Oh yeah, I love Texas.
They sing that one at football games at high school.
Why is everybody moving to Texas? Why is everyone moving to Texas and Florida right now?
Business friendly.
Yeah.
Well said, David. Well said.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's something to be learned by that. And people are leaving California. Big companies are leaving, and they're going to Texas and Florida.
Right.
I just heard on the news today that apparently there's like $1 billion surplus in Texas, and they're looking at ways to lower property taxes.
Oh wow!
Imagine.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that wonderful?
That sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
And then you woke up.
I was on the chairlift. I was on the chairlift with a family, mom, dad, and the 2 kids from Tampa, Florida. And I talk to everybody. You know me. And I was saying, how's the skiing in Tampa? She says, well, not too bad, not too good. That's why we're here. And I asked her the same question. I said, well, how come everybody's so hot about Florida? She said, because we love our governor. I don't get into politics, but that was an interesting answer.
Yeah.
I've never loved it.
I hate my governor. That's why I left California. So Newsom's driving people out.
Yeah.
But I won't talk politics.
Oh, the Justin Chamness political hour. Ooh.
We like to walk the line here, everybody. We like to walk the line between. Well, we like to make you wonder what side of the fence that we may live on. But we like to make you think. Hey, go ahead and put it in the comments. What do you think? I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, that's the thing. Let's talk about that for a minute. In sales, is it ever appropriate, or is it ever okay to talk about politics with
Ooh.
your prospect?
I do.
Personally, I think if you know their position and you can see positives in their position,
Mhm.
then get on board. Because personally,
are you smart?
I live in the middle. I live somewhere in the middle. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I really am towards the middle, so I can see both sides sometimes.
That is such a smart answer, Tim.
Yeah, I won't argue.
Are you just being a chameleon? You know what I mean? Changing colors with who you're around.
No,
Is that what that is?
I wouldn't change, but I will definitely,
I agree, Tim
not say
John.
the things that I reject.
I totally agree. I don't mind allowing a prospect to think anything they want to think about me as long as it's good in their mind. I don't care. You know what? Think this or think that of me. That's fine. I'm just trying to do my work here. What is my job here today with this prospect? Is it to make them like me because of my political views?
Mhm.
That might be part of it, but what's the goal, Uncle Claude?
The goal is to go to the bank today and bringing up policy. I agree so much with Tim said. If you don't know the politics of the person you're speaking with, don't bring it up. It's bad business. It's bad at the dinner table with strangers. It's bad in business. Why are we in business?
To make money today.
Right.
Make money today. You bring up politics. You got a 50-50 shot the way things are today. Okay. We're in a crazy place today. Are you gonna bring that prospect to like and trust you, or are you gonna turn them off and not make a dime because you had to spout off
Right.
what your beliefs are?
Right. It's like walking into a field that's loaded with landmines. You don't know which step is going to be the misstep, but you certainly are going to find out the hard way if you do step that way.
Yep.
Don't want to do that. What else could we throw into this category besides politics? Maybe what about religion? We talk about that a lot. We wear our religion out here. We break it out there in the first 5 seconds of the conversation with a prospect, or hey, Mr. Prospect, I'm just a good Christian guy and I wanted to call you today.
Religion can be dangerous too.
Yeah.
I think the rule is don't talk about politics, religion, sex, and the worst one, the latest diet.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting. I thought about that. Yeah. So we want to make sure we're not talking about anything that's, what's a good word to describe it? Maybe a lot of people are debatable. It's debatable.
Polarizing.
Polarizing. Yeah, that's it. So, because we don't know what end of the poll this person may be on. They may be on the business end of the poll. We don't like that. We don't know. So, yeah, that's all great. I think we understand that. I want to role play today. Welcome, everybody. We've got quite a few people here. It looks like good half a dozen of us here in the room. We might have a few more pop in. We like to kind of warm up a little bit here, talking with each other before we get started. But today I do want to role play big time role plays with your participation. And more people popping in here into the Zoom room. All right, great. All right, you guys feel like role playing today? I want to role play today. I put a couple role play starters into the Claude's got me looking at his Zoom link. There we go. I don't know. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But I do have a couple role play ideas we can launch with today. Is everyone here in the room ready to participate? You guys want? Tim John wants to participate. Anybody else willing to jump in and practice guts, practice the conversation? All right, Corey, awesome. I'm sure Christina will. I don't know if I volunteered you or not, but anyway, she's really good, y'all. Really, really good. Okay. So the first one that I suggested we role play, the first situation is down payment. What do we do when a homeowner wants down payment? Anybody ever run into that situation? You get a lead, you call a homeowner, or a homeowner calls you. They sound pretty motivated, except they want $25,000 in cash down up front. Let's assume that. Let's assume it's a $250,000-$300,000 house, maybe 350. Okay, this is not a $5 million house. This is just a bread and butter normal house. Okay, homeowner wants $25,000 down, but besides that, he's sounding pretty flexible. Like he's sounding kind of motivated. I don't know. Now, you guys see the picture I'm painting here? Okay. All right. So who wants to volunteer to be that homeowner? Christina. Great. Great. Yeah, I'm excited. All right. And then let's talk about the caller. Who wants to volunteer? Who wants to volunteer to be the caller? Corey will volunteer to be the caller. All right, let's jump already. Great. Yeah, thank you, Corey. Let's talk about let's pick up mid conversation here so we don't have to start at hello. But let's start with you're already on the phone with each other. Christina is the homeowner, and she has already said that she would be open to considering your creative lease purchase offer. But she's going to need some down payment, and it's going to have to be somewhere probably like $25,000. Okay, are you guys ready to start? You know where to pick up? Okay, why don't you start, Christina, and then give Corey some runway to launch into this role play.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, I'm just gonna need the $25,000 down. I need that money to move into my next house. So, I mean, other than that, everything sounds great. You're muted.
Yeah, you got to hit that unmute button there, Corey. Sorry. I'm sure what you said right there was absolute perfection. You got to hit that unmute button, though, Corey. It's on the screen. Zoom screen. There should be a mute, unmute.
Tap to speak. Tap to speak.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
All
Great.
right.
All right.
Okay. So you want 25 down, and then the price is going to be 250,000. Is that correct? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, we've already lowered the price from 300,000. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's gonna be fair, just getting a down payment for that.
Okay. Well, you realize I'm not going to be living in the house, right? I want to put in a renter, or someone that will be buying it from me. So we got
Right.
to have cash flows. So if we can get you the 20,000, what if we
25.
could? I'm sorry, 25. If we can get you the 25, would you be able to take maybe 10 now, and then we finance the other 15?
I don't know how that's gonna work because, like I said, I need that money to even put another down payment on my house. So
All right, let's pause here because a couple really interesting things are happening here. Corey, thank you for. I know that being the first horse out of the gate, it's tough, but you embraced it like a champion, and I appreciate you for it. So, good job stepping out there. I think one of the magical things that was happening here is that you were being a creative real estate investor, and I really respect that of you. What I mean is especially I find my experience in the lease purchase business has been that the down payment negotiation is the premier negotiation that you're going to have with the homeowner, meaning you really need to learn how to do this down payment negotiation because this will make the difference between a deal or not a deal in a lot of cases.
Mhm.
Why do I say that? Can someone explain to me what about a lease option, the structure, makes it so the down payment negotiation becomes really the ultimate negotiation for me?
because that's where you get paid.
Mm. Mm.
Well, it depends on your exit strategy, doesn't it? Because if you're gonna wholesale your lease option, then you gotta have it at a price that an investor would be able to take it from you, or one, and then it's gotta make sense to them that they're getting their cash flow. I think that's where you're going at, and that's kind of
Yep.
what I was thinking maybe we could do.
Well, you're right in the sense that it does require that, you kind of know what your exit strategy is. I'm assuming I'm going to assign this to a retail tenant buyer who wants to move into the property, live there for a period of time, and then qualify for home owner financing at a mortgage company. Now, could I have an exit strategy of sandwiching the deal, keeping it in my short-term portfolio, making money every month off of it? Sure, I could. I could do that. I could also have an exit strategy of what he just said, which is I could have an investor buyer that wants to come in and pick up these properties. Maybe they'll set up a scenario where in a couple years they'll be able to refinance the property and just get it over into their name. Okay, maybe that's what they've got cooking there. All right, so but for the strategy that we were that I was thinking, and I wasn't real clear about that, and that's my fault. Is I was thinking I'm looking for a retail tenant buyer that wants to move in, live there for a little while, and then qualify for a home loan to buy the property to live there long term. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So what I find in those negotiations is that I'm not saying all the other metrics don't matter. But I'm saying the down payment can be the premier negotiation that I'm having with this homeowner, because I'm not really going to be paying the purchase price, am I? Who's going to be paying the purchase price ultimately in a lease option assignment scenario?
Whoever the
Dan.
tenant is.
The new family.
The tenant buyer. So it's up to them to figure out how to get the financing to pay the purchase price.
Mhm.
High, low, right on the money, indifferent. It's not my responsibility to get the financing for it, is it? Okay. Is that being mean? I don't think so. I think that's just reality. All right. I'm not overly concerned about the purchase price because it's not my responsibility. Am I overly concerned about the rent price?
A little bit.
Yeah, kind of, because I need to be able to find someone to move into this property that the payment makes sense.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. I said this earlier today, but I'll say it again. One of the easiest ways, if you can't figure out what the payment should be on a property, and you don't have PropStream, or you don't have Rentometer or Rentometer, whatever you say, then it's like Home Depot or Home Depot. I don't know what my dad says. He just always says Home Depot. Isn't that funny? Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I lost track now because I was thinking about
The
Home Depot. But
rent.
anyway, what was I saying, Christina?
About the rent,
Yeah,
finding your median.
yeah. You want to go to Google. You want to pull up a mortgage calculator. Okay.
Mhm.
Pull up a mortgage calculator, and you figure out today, like, that the prices of the interest loans, the loan interest rates for today are somewhere ish, like what? How much? Someone ish.
6.5 or something.
How much?
Isn't it 6.5?
I think if you're getting a good one, yeah, that's not too bad. I think 7.5 is not too outrageous for folks to hear today. I think maybe even a little smidgen more than that, even in some cases. Okay, depending on their credit worthiness and so on and so forth. You know what? If I'm wondering about this property that this homeowner has, and I don't know what the payments, should I, is the rent he's asking too much, too little? I don't know. I can't find any rental comps. I can't blah, blah. Okay, then just go to Google and pull up a mortgage calculator, throw in the purchase price, throw in 7.5% interest, throw in zero down or some really probably zero down. Make sure you calculate some kind of payment for your taxes and your insurance every year. Okay. There you go. Now you got an idea. You hit go on the calculator, and now you got kind of what the payment would be if somebody were to go buy the house today. Okay. Now you kind of have a standard, so is this homeowner asking crazy too much? Is he asking not enough? That's great. That'd be good for you. What happens if he's asking too much? What might I need to do?
Give him a bit of a reality check.
Perhaps. I need to be gutsy. Yeah, maybe we role play that. Oh, but let's also talk here for a second. What would happen if he's asking not enough? Let's say he's asking $1,200 a month, or $1,000 a month, and,
Well-
and the
well, if
actual
you-
rent would be like $1,500. Payment would be.
If I may, so if we went to 225 at a 7.5 for 360 months, just amortized, it looks like the payment without anything special would come out to 565 a month.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's what my point is get the calculator out, throw the numbers in there. You get now kind of a ballpark figure of what the payment would be for somebody to go buy the house. Now that gives you kind of a point of reference. Let's assume that number was not 550. Let's assume it was 1,500. Okay, 1,500 a month to buy that house today. Well, the guy's asking 1,000 a month. What do we do? Is that a problem? Uh-oh. Have I stumped you? Was I not clear about it?
Would that be a sandwich opportunity?
Oh, you bet, dude. You bet.
Oh, so switch gears.
Why would I want to sandwich it though? What good is it for me to sandwich this deal?
$500 a month income.
Yeah.
Well,
That's $6,000 a year. I don't know how many folks at their job got a $6,000 a year raise this year.
true.
Please raise your hand if it was you.
Well, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
All right.
Wait, so you don't go back to the homeowner and say, hey, we can get 1,500, not 1,000.
No,
Right?
you that would be to
I'm
give
just
the
playing.
money.
I'm just playing like.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it, Ty. Thank you for saying that. That would be to give the money to the homeowner.
Right.
Right.
Gotcha.
So to sandwich it would be to stay in the middle, to collect 1,000 a month. I mean, to collect 1,500 a month from your tenant buyer, and to send 1,000 to your homeowner or his mortgage company for him. And you get to keep the difference, which is a magical $500 a month, which is $6,000 a year, which on a 24-month lease purchase is 12 grand in your pocket. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I can pay the light bill with that.
At 250,000, with no down payment or whatever, if it was 250,000 at 7.5 for 360 months, it says 1,748 would be the payment.
Yeah.
That's not without taking anything out.
Yeah. So, and that's assuming there's no private mortgage insurance that they're making the buyer put on it. It could be more than that. So that's a good way to get an idea of values on payments. Okay. And
in my calculator, I just got it working again. It's 1,573 for the 225. So if you pay 225, so it was 25 from the 250, then it would be 15. So you're pretty close in the ballpark there.
Yeah. Yep. You'll find out what that payment is. Now, here's a question for you that, and then we'll get back to the role play. Sorry, I get excited talking about lease purchases because I make money there. So here's the thing. What happens if you run into this scenario where, the payment really is $1,500 when the guy, if you were to buy it today, but the homeowner only wants 1,000, and you just feel like being a nice guy. You're like, well, I'm going to sign this deal and I'm just going to be a nice guy and I'm going to give this tenant buyer a hell of a deal and I'm going to let him take this over for 1,000 a month. And he's getting a good deal.
Tag on that $6,000 into the deposit he'll pay you.
Beautiful.
Ooh, wow.
Beautiful.
That's really good, man.
Beautiful.
That's the option fee.
Beautiful. If you don't,
6,000.
I promise you this, if you don't find a way to collect the money from them, either through payments or through what he just said or through something, if you're just a nice guy and you give him a good deal on the rent, they'll never buy.
Oh,
Why?
dang.
Why?
Too easy, is it?
Because the day we buy, our payment jumps from 1,000 to 1,565 plus.
Payment shock still?
We are way cool just sticking around renting, y'all.
Interesting.
Okay. So do not set up your homeowner to fail.
Yeah.
Okay. You set up the homeowner to fail by giving the tenant buyer a crazy, ridiculous good deal. Just go check what the mortgage would cost. Okay. And then make sure that what he's paying is somewhere in that area, because you don't want them to be sticker shocked when they go to the mortgage lender to buy.
Right.
Oh my God. This is going to cost $800 more a month.
Mortgage. Is it mortgage?
Okay.
Mortgage shock. Yeah.
But what you would want, flip the script. Okay. What if you're charging them $1,800 a month, and when they get the mortgage, their payment will only be $1,565 a month? Now they have incentive to buy quickly. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Way better.
What-
That's way better.
When you do the sandwich deal, do you also do a double close at the final when they purchase the property?
Say that again, David. Sorry.
When you're doing a sandwich deal and you're in the middle,
Yeah.
are you also in it when they actually purchase the property? They purchase property from you, or you buy from the owner and then you sell it to the tenant buyer? So you're doing like a double close, or what are you doing there at that end?
Okay. Great question. This is a sandwich. We cover this in a sandwich lease option class, but this is a great question. How would you get paid on a sandwich lease option? There's a few ideas that pop into your mind right away. He just mentioned one, double close. Could you? If your investor, if your tenant buyer was an investor guy, probably. If it's a retail buyer that's going to move in and live there, his mortgage guy won't let that happen. They won't. Retail buyers, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all those people involved in retail money, they will never be party to a double, some kind of a scenario where they know there's a double close going on, or there's some kind of an assignment happening or something. They'll stop it dead in its tracks. So how do we get paid? There's only one way that I know of that's really straight up legit.
The option payment?
Performance mortgage.
A performance mortgage. I'd have to think about that. We might have to call Uncle Claude back to the table to talk about performance mortgages being a way to close. That may be, Joseph. I'm familiar with performance mortgages, but not to the extent that I could give a yay or nay to that. I've got one other technique for getting paid that I'm really versed in, and it happens to be something different. What did you say, Corey?
Like down payment arbitrage or something like that?
No, that's not it. It's a good answer, but no. Okay, so how you would get paid on a sandwich is you would cloud the title at the courthouse with a memorandum of agreement. Okay. So when you enter into the sandwich deal, okay, let's talk about that for a second. When you enter into a sandwich deal, hey Joseph, your speakers are kind of back feeding into your mic a little bit, man. So like I get a little echo. I'm not trying to point you out there, sir. I love you.
I don't hear, I don't see anything. Okay, I'll mute myself.
Sorry, man. All right. So in a sandwich lease option, when you buy the sandwich, okay, with the day that you enter the agreement with the homeowner, there's a few things that you want to do that your tenant buyer in an assignment scenario may not be doing. Let's list off a few of them. If you're going to buy a house today, sandwich lease option, you're going to stick around. Okay, that's what I mean by sandwich. What are a few things that you're going to do to protect your assets?
Delay payment for like 3 months, give yourself 3 months to put a tenant buyer in there?
Well, you totally could. That'd be smart. What's another thing we ought to do?
Pay directly to the mortgage.
Pay directly to the guy's mortgage company. Why?
Because if you're paying to the guy and he's not paying his mortgage, then here comes the foreclosure. And you're
Boom,
stuck holding the bag.
and you're stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's another thing we're going to do?
Negotiate the purchase price down. I don't know. Or negotiate as much as possible down.
We're definitely going to do that. Anything else? Would we ever want to run a title check, for crying out loud, to find out if this guy's got a bunch of stuff on his title that would prevent it being marketable, where we could sell to me or at all?
Yeah, better do that. Yeah.
Before I'm 12 months up the road with this guy and I put all this money in his pocket, I need to maybe run title check. How much does a title check cost at a title company or closing attorney? I'm not saying title insurance. I'm saying title check, everyone. Okay.
$200.
I think it's about a couple $100.
Depends on your relationship with the title rep. Could be
I think I can get one done for about $40.
yeah.
$40.
Really?
So you just call any title company in the area and say, hey, can you run this check? Or
It's best to find a title company that's local to the property but friendly to investors. It's best to do that. But yes, you can find any title company to run a title check. Sure.
okay.
So just find a mom and pop deal. Okay. Don't call Continental Title. Don't call, what's Warren Buffett's company? Berkshire Hathaway Title or whatever it is. Don't do that. Okay. Just call mom and pop title, real, whatever that's called. Call them. Hey, what would it cost if I just need title check run, just something real simple, quick. What's it cost and how long it take? Just call and ask. So you would definitely want to do that. Anything else you might want to do up front on the front end when you're closing with your homeowner on a sandwich lease option? Anything else you might want to do? I mean, if you're going to be in the middle, would you ever?
Memorandum of option, like you were mentioning, the memorandum of option.
Yeah, you're going to definitely maybe want your title attorney or title company to file that. Go ahead and file that memorandum of agreement at the courthouse, so that if someone tries to buy or sell this property, they can't until they clear up whatever's going on with you.
Justin, does that, first of all, that is it subordinates to mortgages that are already on title, but and ideally it keeps the original owner from getting a new mortgage after the fact. But does it have anything to do with any judgments? Like, how does it impact judgments and things like that show up on title after you've gotten your preliminary title report?
It doesn't impact anything other than it allows you to become a bill listed on the HUD or final closing statement when the house does sell. Okay, that allows you to be listed as another bill that needs to be paid, rather than a double close, rather than as an assignee or sign-or situation. Now you're just an item to be paid. Okay, to clear the title, they had to pay David $6,000. That's what he was owed, whatever it was, $12,000, $26,000 to clear the title. Now he's on the HUD statement, the closing statement. Okay, when I say a HUD statement, that's what the title company or closing attorney gives you at closing day. That is a receipt of all of the things in and out that's being paid or collected and the settlement. Okay, so it's all right there. You're going to be listed line number 27, for example. Okay, David, line 27, $26,000 to clear the title. What was it for? Invoice fees. Don't know. Whatever. Make up something. Doesn't matter. You're a bill. David.
Yeah, but okay, so what amount are you putting on that clouded title? Are you putting, like, for example, the homeowner wants to sell for 100,000 and you're going to sell it to the tenant buyer for 150,000? Are you putting that 50,000 on the clouded title so they pay at mortgage? Is that what you're putting? Or
you're going to know how much money you're due because of the sandwich situation. It was all agreed upon originally with the agreements that when you started with the homeowner, and then you've run it through, you should be able to calculate, and the title company should be able to calculate how much money you're owed to based on, okay, but what you're filing at the courthouse has no numbers. It's a memorandum of agreement. Okay.
okay.
It's not a
But-
it's not a memorandum of option. It's not a memorandum of purchase and sale. It's not a memorandum of, hey, we had a deal for this dollar amount. It's just, hey, stop. Don't do anything until you figure out where and what this agreement is, because something needs to happen for David.
And,
And
and
now-
they see that, I apologize, they see that on the ABC contract plus the assignment contract. They see all those numbers.
There won't be an assignment contract in a sandwich. Okay.
So just the
Yep.
ABC or whatever contract.
No, there'll be a contract with the homeowner that
Uh-huh.
that gets in place with the tenant buyer, the end tenant buyer, and you will have a memorandum of agreement that gets filed at the courthouse that keeps you in the middle there. Okay. But ultimately, you're putting those two parties together and becoming an item on the HUD to be paid. I hope that makes sense. Might have to replay this and think it through a little bit, but yeah, and we can go over it again sometime. But didn't mean to really dive into so much sandwich stuff. But I'm glad you guys are thinking about sandwiches, because it's a good time to think about sandwiches, right? As we're coming up on the market declining, maybe perhaps more, and we find homeowners that have equity. I want you, when you start running into homeowners that are lease option candidates, okay, if they have equity, I want you to immediately start asking yourself, is it worth sticking around a sandwich to collect this much equity? Okay, it will happen. It will happen. In other words, the house is worth $225,000. They only owe $210,000. They're willing to do a 36 months lease purchase or lease option with you. Okay. They don't care what you do with the house. You live in it, you assign it, whatever, don't matter. That's the deal. So what you put in on the contract is you would put in as purchase price, you would put in purchase price, the loan balance at Union Bank, whatever it is, mortgage, approximately 100 or 210,000. Okay. That's how you would write the purchase price in that scenario. Now, what happens is they're going to be paying down that purchase price all during that 36 months term. So you're creating an even larger spread between the base purchase price and what it's worth, which, remember, we said, I think, was $225,000. So you're starting out with $15,000 in equity available to grab, and it's going to be growing over the 36-month term. So ask yourself, is this deal worth getting involved in and staying as a sandwich so that I can have the chance of collecting those monies? Okay. Is everybody following me? If the deal has no equity, don't even worry about sandwiching. Okay. Why would you ever sandwich a deal with no equity? Uncle Claude, would you stick around in a deal if there's no money in it?
Well,
Depends.
what about if you could make money on just the rent, even though there's no equity?
Question.
What if you could get a property, there was no equity, there was no way to raise price in a declining market. The rent was, you negotiated, and maybe they had a low rent payment because they owned it a long time, or maybe they were willing to subsidize the rent, and you were paying, for example, $1,000 a month, but you were in a neighborhood where you knew you could sublet the property for $2,500 a month. Make yourself $1,500. Would it be worth getting involved in a property with no equity if you could still generate $1,000 or more per month?
Might be, yeah.
I think as long as the term
definitely.
is long enough to get whatever your down payment is back with the term.
If you could set up a sandwich lease, I mean, you could still assign it. What if you could just get a property, market rent, market purchase price, 3-year lease option, but it was 2 blocks from the university? Is that contract have value, even though there's no equity and you can't raise the rent? Is it still valuable to somebody else?
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. When I say, can I find a knucklehead out there somewhere that'll give me 10 grand to move into this bad boy?
Yeah,
That's what it's exactly, in professional terms, what I'm saying.
yeah. Could you sell that $250,000? You have it for 3 years. It's 3 blocks from the university, and you've advertised for new professors or teachers or administration who want to walk to work, does that piece of paper that is assignable, is that represent a value to another person to move into that property? Even though it's not, there's no equity for you, you can't raise the price, it's a declining market. The rent, the mortgage, the rent payment is the same as the mortgage payment, but it's reasonable. Can you, is that, that'd be a good role play, by the way. So I'm a professor, just
do
moved
it.
in. You've got a house, sell it to me, Justin. Hey,
Yeah.
Justin, I just saw that 3-bedroom house. Is it still available? I'm a Chihuahua professor at the University of East Bumble.
Oh, that's great. You know, I've had a few other folks from the school up there inquire about it, and we've been talking kind of in depth about it. It is still available, but I don't expect it to be available for much longer than today, sir. So is this something that you're interested maybe in moving on quickly, or were you looking to move sometime
No,
later on?
I need something right now. I'm living in the student dorms, and that's not a fun place for a family of 4 and, 5 doggies to live right now. And I saw it had a rent to own on it. How does that work? That's great. I want to buy a place eventually. How does that rent to own work?
Yeah, that's great. Rent to own is exactly what it sounds like. Are you really looking to buy something in the short term, like maybe 12 to 24 months?
Yeah. I just got a contract here. I'm not tenured or anything, but we love the area. My wife used to live here, and I just thought, rather than rush and buy a place, we just sold our house in Wisconsin. Rather than rush and buy a place, wouldn't it be great to live in a place and this is so close to work, so I can walk. I mean, I love that.
I see. So, Claude, imagine being able to wake up right down the street from where you work, get up, have your coffee, kiss the wife goodbye, or however you guys handle it in the morning, and then taking a stroll up there to the office and doing this in a house that you can buy. No one else, you're not going to have any competition trying to beat you down and get in front of you in the line. If I were to able to do something like that for you today, is that what we're talking about, or maybe I just need to talk to someone else?
No, we need a place and we need it fast. And my wife saw your sign also by the house and everything, and she looked in the window. She said it looks beautiful. Tell me, what's the financing on this thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. The purchase price is $650,000. So when you go to buy the property, that's what it will cost.
Okay.
The monthly mortgage payment on it will be somewhere around $3,300 a month, and so until you do purchase it, the rent will actually be $3,500 a month. Does that sound like something you're comfortable with?
Yeah.
And could we move forward with that today?
Yeah. Is that all I need? First and last down, or?
No, sir. We also require a reasonable down payment. How much money are you working with towards your new home? Do you have a down payment saved?
Well, we have the money from the other house that's coming through pretty soon. What do you? I mean, I didn't know.
Okay.
I've never done a rent owned before. How much money do we have to put down?
Okay, well, we're looking for $35,000. Is that something that you'll be able to handle, or is that maybe not okay?
Well, wow, that's a lot of money.
Well, it is a nice house, just right up the street from the university. It's a safe neighborhood. It's patrolled by the university campus police, and like I said, I'm getting a lot of action on it, sir. So, I mean, if you're interested in it, it would be something that you'd need to make a decision on rather quickly today, or it will not be available again tomorrow.
Okay.
Is this something we can move forward with, or maybe not? Is that 35,000? Is that a disqualifier? Is this a non-starter?
Well, can we split it up a little? You said it's what, 3 years, this contract? I have 3 years to buy this house?
You have 24 months to buy the house, sir. And so, if you want to finance you want me to finance the 35,000 down? Is that what you're asking me, sir?
Well, I was thinking about that. Could I put like 18 down and then pay you a little extra every month on the rent or something like that? And this money, and this money can go to the property, right? This will be going to my down payment, you said? If
I were to write up the agreement between you and I today, Claude, where any of the monies that you invest are immediately to reduce the purchase price when you buy? Is that something that makes you feel more comfortable with moving forward with me, or maybe not?
If you can do that, you got a deal, sir. I got a Amex here burning a hole in my pocket, man.
Okay, well, we have a problem here, Claude. I would like to talk about the 18,000. It's just not really quite what we're needing here. We're looking for 35,000. Is there any way you could do 25 and we could finance 10, or is that a deal breaker?
Yeah, that's that's really we spent a lot of money on moving, and it was just Christmas and Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and everything, and geez,
All right.
I could make it. I could do 20,000. I could do 20,000. That I could do.
Okay, well,
God, are you a greedy bastard? Listen to this guy.
Yeah.
okay,
All you
what-
do- all you
watch,
do
The
is-
okay,
drama.
watch me make $2,000 in the next 30 seconds, though. Okay. Hold on. Let me.
You scared off Christina with your
Claude, I like you, and you know what? I want to do this with you. I'm not, I see what you're saying, and believe me, I want to get you in there where you don't have to drive your car in the morning, because believe me, I hate morning traffic more than anything. And I bet you feel the same way, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Well, let me see if I can get approval from my partner here.
Hello,
okay.
Christina.
I'm okay. I'm getting the nod. We can do that. Okay. Well, Claude, if I send you the agreement right now, 20,000 down, and we'll finance the other 15,000 at 500 a month. Is that something that you're ready to do today?
Yeah. Can we take a look in the inside of the property, just real quick?
Well, you know what? I would like to send you the agreement. You threw me for a loop here, Claude,
I'm
because
trying to. I keep it real.
you're right, and they do want to see the inside of the property. But I figured you were going to expect me to sell this guy sight unseen today. So
How about if you had a video? You walked inside, you took a video of the whole place and around and everything, and you sent that to him now, and he gave you money, but it's refundable subject to a physical, also a physical viewing of the property within today or tomorrow. If you just gave him one little thing, hey, you know what? That's a great question. Let me give you the video. You can look at it and everything. And of course, and if you want to go into it today, I'll change my schedule. I'll meet you there. Did you want to do a wire transfer, a check, or a credit card today?
Right. I prefer a wire transfer, Claude. Is that going to be possible? Can you call the bank up and have them wire the money?
Yeah. You got a Wells Fargo. What's that Wells Fargo transfer account called? That new one. Help me, somebody.
Wow.
It's
Zelle?
yeah, it's Zelle. That's it. Thank you, Corey.
So,
Yeah. I have a Zelle account to you. Everybody should have a Zelle, a Venmo, and a PayPal account for just this situation.
interesting.
By the way,
I don't have Zelle, but I got Venmo and Cash App and PayPal.
Zelle is wonderful. I'm a Wells Fargo. I have Wells Fargo and Bank of the West. Zelle and Wells Fargo is great. Their online application is fantastic. Sorry to change the subject, but
No, that's a good. Everybody always wonders, how do you collect money? How do you actually get the money from them into your bank account? Well, I always usually ask for a wire. I have gotten snail mail checks though,
the good old days, the check-ins in the mail,
or a money order even. That to me, that's the scariest though. You're going to send a money order through the mail. What if that thing gets swiped or lost or gone, man? Whew, we're all screwed, I think.
What about the psychological? To me, if we got to do a wire transfer, a check in the mail, how important is it to get some skin in the game now, no matter what, even if it's $1,000,
Yeah.
$500?
Yeah.
How important is it to get their mindset into it that they got to put some money down right now to take it off the market? Who should have the pressure?
Not me. Should be them.
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely.
You want, say, you know what, and then you can do a little story. You know what? I appreciate that. I know you want to
Yeah.
see the property and everything, but if I'm gonna, and I'll be glad to meet with you and change my thing. But if you want me to take it off the market right now, I need a 2,500 holding fee on a credit card. If you don't like the property when we see it today, don't worry, we will refund it immediately.
It's a good one. That segues into my second role play idea today, which is when the tenant buyer goes and looks at the property, he comes back to you and says, Claude, we love the house, but it's not move-in ready.
When
Well-
you say not moving,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Well, it looks like the last people, it hasn't been cleaned or fixed up from the last people just moved out, and there's debris and stuff on the carpet, and there's little dings in the wall and nails and screws and stuff everywhere, and it probably needs to be painted again, and just the regular things that people would do before somebody moves into a house. That's all.
You know what? You bring up a good point, and I'm a little embarrassed. I apologize. It should have been ready. We were trying, it's hard to get handymen and cleaning people into a property. Let me ask you this, and it's a good point. If I would feel the exact same way. If when you said you need to move into a house very soon, when you said very soon, do you mean like this week? It's Wednesday, or next week, or a month from now?
Well, we were hoping it'd be ready. We could move in this weekend.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Suppose instead of 35,000, we make it 33,500, and you do the cleanup and repairs.
Well, I'm a professor at the college. I'm not really a painter. So I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not even sure what it would cost to have somebody come in here and do this.
Well, I'm going to give you $1,500 off the.
All right. You guys see what he's doing? He's playing with the money a little bit, but he's going to make me happy one way or another, I believe.
By the way, it's a really good point on a property. What kind of condition should it be in before you present it? I mean, if it's a fixer upper, you got to tell them up front in your advertising or marketing.
Yeah.
And I always had I had this wonderful cleaning lady in California. I always used to send her to all my properties, and she was great cleaning them up. But some properties need carpet cleaning, and they do need painting. They need 2 new toilet seats. They need level or blinds.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
and that, when it's cosmetic stuff, I don't mind doing it or paying somebody. I used to do it myself all the time. But now, I would just pay somebody to do it.
Tim, John, and Ty, I'm gonna call on you guys, but I want to share real quick what I say, because I came up with this and it seems to work sometimes. Well, Mr. Tenant Buyer, that's the best part. You telling me all this stuff needs to be done. That's the best part. Because see, you're going to be renting to own or leasing and then buying it. I want you to be able to treat this house like it's yours. So I want you to paint the walls the color you want them to be. I want you to make the house look the way you want it to look, just like as if you owned it. Like, this is try it out before you buy it out. That's really what you guys want to have the experience of anyway, right? Okay, I try that.
These are nice, soft, clean hands. They don't want to get dirty anymore.
I know. Ty, Russell, you said you wanted to role play that down payment thing. Is that what you were going to say, Ty?
Sure. I don't know what to say, but I guess I'll
Okay.
learn.
Well, let's do that. But Tim, John, what did you have, sir? You gotta hit that mute button again, man. The speak to talk or talk to speak.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I don't know if I
Pushed it.
accidentally flagged you or not, but I wasn't.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. So down payment. Let's talk about down payment. The homeowner wants $25,000 down. It's a $250,000 house. What do? Do we get off the phone? Do we fire the guy? Or do we have any guts maneuvers we might want to employ? Here, go. Who wants to be the homeowner? You want $25,000 on your $250,000 house down. You want it down. You're okay with the lease option, but you want $25,000 down, and we need a gut salesperson that can overcome.
I want the 25,000 down.
Okay. Corey wants to be the homeowner. Tim, John, you want to be the caller?
I wouldn't even know where to start with trying
Okay.
to get the Let me ask you, are we trying to get a lower down
Yeah.
payment? Is that the goal?
Yeah, you bet your boots. I don't want to give him no 25 grand. That's for sure. I might want to give him 2,500.
Right.
Where do I start? How do
Right.
I
Where
work
do
with
I
this? Before I fire him, I at least got to shoot my shot.
Right.
What is my shot? And how do I say it? Let's
Well,
load it up. Who's going to load it up and pull the trigger?
I can try.
Okay, David. I love it.
Man,
Welcome. Welcome to the arena, the gladiator sales arena. All right. Hey, we don't role play to the death here though. So thanks for stepping out. All right, let's start. Corey, you're the homeowner. Start him out by saying, "Yeah, all that sounds good, but
Okay.
I need 25."
All that sounds good. All right, all that sounds good, but you got me down to the 250. I wanted 300. The 250 sounds good, but I understand you're showing me that the payments are gonna be around 1,500 and the rents are around 1,500. But we really need to have that 25 down.
Okay, so you need that 25 down, but if we can get closer to your asking price at 300,000, how much down would you actually need at that point?
305.
So 305,000, the purchase price, and how much down payment would you need to feel comfortable to have us do a business today?
Well, talk me through this. What do you? we
I'll-
talked
I'll-
about commission too.
I like it. He's already got the questions. He's got the question-based sales thing going on already, doesn't he?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
he's really locked in to he's not losing control. David's not losing control of this
Mm-hmm.
conversation. He's got the conversation under control because he keeps asking the right questions. He's digging here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me throw a bone out there. Mr. Homeowner, it's great that you want 25,000. I understand you want skin in the game. Hey, you know what? You're a smart guy. I can't blame you. I probably feel exactly the same way that you do. Here's the thing. You also want us to buy that house as soon as possible. Is that right? I mean, it's more important to you that we buy as quickly as possible than rent, right? Corey?
Yeah. Like we've been talking. Yeah. that's
Okay.
true.
Okay,
That's
great. So, while I understand you need skin in the game, our mortgage guy, when we go to purchase the property, is probably going to want us to bring cash and down payment and closing costs to the table.
Mhm.
And if we give all the cash up front to you, it's going to be hard for us to close. So, is there something in middle of the road that we could consider? Not 25,000. Could we maybe do 5,000 and then maybe another 5,000 in 12 months, and then we'll buy the house within 24 months? Does that sound like something we could do, or is that maybe a non-starter?
So kind of a stair-stepping way.
Yeah, you guys see what I'm doing? I'm breaking it down in chunks now, and I'm giving him a good excuse, and it's a true one. Okay, my excuse that the mortgage guy is going to want money. Yeah, he is.
Mhm.
Here's another thing. If Corey fights me a little bit, I'm going to say, well, Corey, I understand you want 25,000. How could I give you 25,000 and still give you full asking price? Okay.
You can get well,
That's
you can get-
more than we can do. That's kind of a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Is there anything more reasonable we can do on the down payment? I'll still give you the full asking price, but the down payment, can you be a little flexible?
Yeah, I guess I could back off a little bit if you guys can come up just a little bit, maybe on the back end. You do that?
Okay, so let's say we were, instead of to do 250,000 purchase price in 24 months, we did 260,000, and you were able to, instead of doing 25,000 down, we were able to do 10. Does that sound like something that we could do?
I think we're getting close.
Okay, we are getting close, but C10 is still way too much in my opinion. Okay, so for this particular $250,000 house, okay. So this guy's, I might fire this guy ultimately because he's really not motivated. Okay, he's really not who I'm looking for. However, before I get off the phone, I did want to try a couple of my little master maneuvers here. You want to use a little guts and see if I could maybe maneuver around the $25,000 wall he's built between us.
Well, I liked how both of you had the ideas like, well, maybe you could go back to you've come down on the price and now you're trying to negotiate the down, that you might actually take the price back up a little bit so you didn't have to put down such a big down.
Exactly. Mr. Homeowner, if I were able to increase the purchase price a little bit, would that make you feel a little more flexible on down payment? And could we talk about something a little more reasonable?
Yeah,
Sir,
if
you
you
understand?
could do, if you could do, can you guys do 15 down so that we can take care of some things?
You know,
And then we'll just leave the price at
you know,
265.
well, I want to tell you the
Get
truth here.
259.
We're going to need money when we go to buy. You want us to buy the house as quick as possible. Is that right? Am I understanding you? Your objective is to ultimately sell the house as quickly as you can, right?
Right, right.
And we want to buy the house as quickly as we can, and that's going to
Yeah, but
require us to have
I
cash.
don't want
at
to give it
the
away. You know, I don't want to give away. My wife's giving me the stare.
Well, I understand that too, and I don't want you to give it away either, sir. But we do want to be able to buy the house, and we're going to need cash for closing, and maybe even your closing costs and ours too. And we're going to need money down for our mortgage guy. So, you know, I was thinking somewhere maybe in the ballpark of $5,000. If we did $5,000 now, is that something, you know, on the front side here? When we exchange keys, you get $5,000 cold cash in your pocket. No refunds on that ever. That's your money. Is that something that maybe butters this up a little bit for you and makes it fit better?
Can we do 10 grand and then
Hmm.
make it 255?
Ooh, well, man, I want to. Let me think here for a minute. If we did $5,000 now and then in 12 months we did another $5,000, that's 10 grand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we get
Oh.
the 10 grand within a year.
So Corey, if I draw up the agreements today that read $5,000 today, or the day we exchange keys, and then $5,000 in 12 months, and then we purchase the price. The purchase price is, you know, what we talked about. Is that something that you're able to move forward with me today, or are we just talking turkey here, Corey?
No, I think 255 with the 10 spread out, like you said, we could do that. So we get that 5 at the front and just get the 10 within this next
Whew.
year. We'll be good.
Wow, congratulations. I think we got us a deal here, Corey. I think we can do this. Are you as excited as I am?
Yeah. Then
All
we're
right.
We've been trying to sell this and just not getting very far. So
Well,
we might
man,
lose it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that we met, and I'm glad this is working out good. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to send you my agreement here in the next 30 minutes, and then I want to call you in 45 minutes, and let's talk about, you know, any questions you may have, any concerns you may have. There may be something I misspelled or I didn't do correctly, and we need to fix that. Is that something we can talk about doing in 45 minutes?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, great. When I call you in 45 minutes, Corey, if I've made everything comfortable for you, what happens?
Well, I just need one. Do I need to have my wife here? She's getting ready to leave.
Yeah. Will she be available in an hour, or when will she be available?
She said she's pretty flexible. She just needs to know if she needs to leave now or wait for that to get done.
Okay. Well, we can do it right now then. I'll get the contract pulled up right here and I'll send it to you via email, but we can go over it over the phone, and then you guys can look at it on email and give the signature. In fact, that might be smarter, Corey, because I might need to correct a few things and then get it over to you properly, so it doesn't need to be worked on anymore. Is that something we can do with the missus and you right now? Are you ready?
Yeah, she says that's good. She says that she's fine with that.
Well, okay, so
this year.
okay, so with the missus, if I make everything comfortable for her and everything fits you and her well with my offer here, what do you guys think? Is this something we can do today, or maybe not?
No, that's something we can do today.
Okay,
yeah.
great. See, I want to make sure I'm going to go back and get a second commitment because she was brought to the table. Okay, That's why I went back and did that, guys. I hope that made sense. Sorry, I just have fun with this, and we could go all day.
Justin, I was going to say that's really important. A lot of times people forget to get that second confirmation, and then we just assume we got the close, and then they're not returning our calls and they're ghosting us, and not a lot of fun.
That's exactly right, Brandon. It's good to see you too, man. Thanks for being here. Claude, you have your hand up so nice and gentlemanly.
I just my big takeaway. I loved that last role play. My big takeaway is what a good negotiator you are, and and isn't that another word for sales? Really, I mean,
Yes.
how do you you can't take this stuff for granted. What Justin has just shown us, getting into that good conversation with somebody, negotiating, struggling, adjusting, thinking on your feet. Is there a script in the world? Is that could teach you how to do what Justin just did?
No.
I mean, this is you could have all the knowledge in the world, you could have all the best leads, But if you can't do what Justin just did with Corey, I mean, this is the key to success in this business.
Yeah.
Being able to negotiate, give and take. And you didn't give up any money. You just moved the stuff around a little bit, right?
That's right. That's right. Creative. If I can't go over the roadblock, maybe I can go around it. Maybe I can chop it in half and move it to the sides.
Is there anything wrong with getting a partial down payment or option money and creating a note? Is there anything wrong with that? No.
That's what I was trying to do in the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
You're
Remember
still
that
gonna
theory,
you're
yeah.
still gonna get money every month. You're getting a nice big, you're getting a down payment today. You're getting a big chunk wired in a 24-hour period, and then
Yeah.
you're getting a note for 1, 2, or 3 years. Isn't that just a great way to negotiate a deal?
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
is.
That was really good, man.
That's
Thank
good. David, you got your hand up.
Yes.
You'll be the last. We'll let you wrap us up here today. What you got, man?
Well, I got two questions. I apologize. So, and Clyde kind of explained on one of my questions about how do you structure that $5,000 now, $5,000 later? Do you do a promissory note with the tenant buyer and the seller, them two together, or you're still in between that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would just write that into the actual lease option agreement, and it would be considered option consideration, 5,000 due at the exchange of keys the day the tenant buyer moves in, and then it would say line B would be 5,000 due in 12 months on such and such a date, and that it would just be in the original agreement. There'd be nothing flashy or any promissory notes or any of that.
And we're out of that. That's in between them two. Okay. And the next question is with Christina, she put up a good objection. Like for her 25,000, she needed that for a down payment to her next house. So
Yeah.
how would you work around that one?
Why do you need a place to live anyway? I mean, there's a lot of people successfully homeless. I mean, you could be one of them. No.
Yeah,
No,
van
no,
life.
no, really, how do you get around it? Maybe you can't get around it. Hey, love you, Claude. Thanks for helping, man. You were great today. Hey, who's doing next week? Is Brandon doing next week? All right, Brandon's doing role play next week. Okay, great. So we're
Next
we're
week.
alternating. We're alternating, guys. Everybody, so there's somebody different every week now. And so be here next week for Brandon. How do we handle this real quickly? How do we handle this? She needs the $25,000 down because she needs to put it towards her next home. Is this a deal breaker for us, or can we survive the gauntlet?
Well, I thought a response to that would have been like by her receiving rental income, that increases her chances to get a loan.
Man, this guy's like a freaking genius, dude. It's like you already read the book, like you got all the answers. Like that's for real, so true. You
That's
could try
good,
that.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
let's try that. Christina,
qualifying.
you be the
Good.
homeowner. Yeah, I need the property. I need the money for my next property. David, give us the response.
Man, okay. So
You just
Christina
said it. You said it perfectly. Christina, you said I need the money for my next property.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
so
go ahead, Christina.
I need the money, the 25 for my next house. I mean, we've already looked into other houses, and that was like the lowest we can probably do.
For the down payment that you need for the
Mhm.
next loan. Okay.
Right.
Okay. And do you currently rent other properties? Do you have other properties for rent that you're receiving income on?
No. I mean, this is our home, so this is we're moving from one home to another, and that's how we're kind of trying to get our money. But if we're doing the rent to own, I would need the 25 for
Okay, gotcha.
for my next
So,
payment.
I have some good news for you, because when you apply for a loan, actually the loan officer looks at income coming in, or I guess like your whatever income you generate, right? So
Mhm.
by actually doing the rent to own process with us and the tenant buyer, you're gonna increase your income per month by $1,500 a month. So that's actually gonna help you towards that loan.
Oh, okay. I
That's
wasn't
nice.
very familiar with that.
Yeah,
that's-
75% of it, right? Is that right?
I believe so.
75%.
Yeah.
I believe 75%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Will this
don't
work? Will this work though? I mean, he's absolutely 100% right. In some cases, it may work, but in
Mhm.
Christina's case, it won't work, will it?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I don't know exactly how it works anyways to explain it to her. So
No,
That's
no, dude, you did no, you
Mhm.
you did nothing wrong. You did perfect. In fact, I mean, you said the exact right words and everything.
Mhm.
The reason why it wouldn't work for her is because she has a down payment problem on her next property. Unfortunately, that's probably it.
Why does she have to put down such a large down payment? Doesn't she usually have to put down just like what,
Yeah.
3%, or is she trying to put down?
Well,
Well,
I mean, if they're upgrading houses
Yeah.
and
$25.
needing to expand,
$133,000 home?
The market's turning though.
yeah,
You know,
that's true.
you know what we got to do? We got to put a bookmark in this one because we need Claude to the table on this one.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, this is probably my weakest objection. When
Oh.
I'm really good with I would say 99% of objections. This one here, if I have a kryptonite,
Mhm.
this one's it. Because it's a tough one. When she says I need the money for down payment for my next property, it's like, oof, how do I get creative on that?
Sometimes I
not
like
sure.
to re-ask the same question because um sometimes they don't know what house they want, or they haven't even really looked into the house.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I ask, so the house you're buying, though the homeowner, they're requiring that certain amount,
Mhm.
and then they'll tell you yes or no, or well, I haven't really looked. Okay, so you don't need the 25.
Right.
Exactly. But if I
Right.
can ballpark around that.
That's
Mhm.
true. I've
That's-
experienced that. I've also offended the guy.
Okay.
I said to one guy that said that to me in particular. I said, "Well, I mean, have you actually talked to your lender guy, or is this what you guys just think how it works?" And he and then they're all on the defense, like, "Well, you're a prick, you know, like forget you." So like that's what I'm saying. Like I need to master this particular one. Yeah. Anyway, anybody got any better advice? I mean, Christina gave the best advice so far on this. I mean,
What about it? I'm not sure if it's possible, but getting a bigger down payment for the tenant buyer, but negotiating with the seller that the first 6-7 months of no rent.
that's creative.
Mhm.
It could work. It could work in the right scenario. Yeah. Let's put a pin in this one, and I want to write it down. I'm for real about that because I'm here to get better too, guys. I'm not here just to be like, hey, I want to pretend I know everything or some shit. But like, here's the thing: tenant buyer. How do we word this so I'll remember it? Seller wants $25K, needs for down payment.
To purchase next property.
Yeah. Okay. And we're gonna get
They've been negotiated at 250 with 25 down.
right.
Can I ask you?
50K house.
And no equity.
Right. No equity. Yeah.
What's
That's
the
like the
highest?
most-
What's the highest down payment you've done, Justin? I mean, is it feasible to do, or is just, you know?
I try to tell everybody the rule that I have in my mind is
Okay.
if I start crossing the threshold of 3% down to that homeowner,
Yeah.
I am getting way into the meter's getting into
Too
the red.
much. Right.
It's getting in the
Okay.
red here. We're getting to 3, we're getting to 4, we're getting to 5. Blow up. Done. Can't happen. Okay.
So 3 to 5. Five being the most. Yeah.
That's it, man. That's it. So that's just a general rule. Okay. It's not something to rely on in all transactions everywhere.
Yeah,
For all.
sure.
Okay. But in general, it's you know, and usually a payment is somewhere near 1%, okay, of the purchase price. Usually it's around 1 to, somewhere around there. So you can think of it in those terms. I don't want to end up giving the homeowner more than about 3 payments up front.
And the follow-up would be like, is there a scenario where you have a tenant buyer with a big down payment already?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
So maybe Christina, she sold the house, she got 50,000. She wants another house, she come in at 25.
Yeah, not likely though. I mean,
Okay.
the stars would have to align really well.
Like, so
Really
it's,
well. Yeah.
it's rare. It's
Yeah.
slim chance.
That's
Yeah.
not something I'm real familiar with. I've got it
Okay.
written down on my slick board here, and I'm gonna
Awesome.
I think
get Claude to dissect it for us. Go ahead.
what I
Dave.
would do with Christina without offending her is like, ask her a question. Have you already spoken with the loan officer about this? Is this the concrete down payment? If she says, no, we haven't spoken yet. Okay, well, go ahead and speak with your loan officer.
Yeah.
Find out exactly how
More
much down
information.
payment you really need. Because what you're asking right now, I don't have a deal. We can't work together because the tenant buyer will be too much putting down for the person, whatever. And
That's
but
what,
if you do
10%
find
down?
out,
Yeah.
if you do find out it's less than what you're saying, let me know, and then we can work out a deal.
Cause it
And then
could
let's move
be,
on to the next person and move on to the next tenant seller because, right?
That's not the right stuff. You
or
know,
it could be
Dave,
something that she wants for herself, like, hey, we gotta put 10% down. That's, my mom did it and my uncle, and that's what we do, But, yeah, maybe they could put less down.
yeah, I know your mom. Hey, you know what? You said give me a discount. The thing is,
Give me a discount.
David's right on the money again with that. I've tried that same thing that he just said word for word. I've said it myself, and I always think that's got to be the best way to respond because
Yeah.
it's logical. You're asking them to seek out facts. You want to put the deal together, but I've never written a deal off of it though, because they always leave to go either not do what I asked them to do or to do what I asked them to do, and then the magic is gone because we're no longer connected. You know what I mean? So I got it.
Right.
We got it. I'm glad we finally somebody brought this up because I really need answers too. And let's get Uncle Claude back
Look,
on the horn here.
Well, if
soon.
you have a
Actually,
loan
is
officer in
this
your
house-
back
Is
pocket,
this house free and clear?
would help.
Is this house assumed free and clear with Christina? Or does she have a mortgage on it?
I wouldn't think so. I was assuming she was pretty well leveraged up. I mean, there's no equity in the deal.
So-
No equity.
So
in the
we can
deal.
possibly switch tactics. Maybe a lease option wouldn't work for this so much as maybe a subject to, would you think? Or
Yeah, but see, she's still going to need the down payment. That's the thing. And there's no equity here.
Yeah.
And
So
this
greedy.
is just not the right stuff. I'm looking for a nice, clean, even deal where I don't have to, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. And this sounds like Christina's just not going to be a happy seller for me. I'm just not going to be able to meet her needs.
Might not
That's
be.
why I kind of pushed it off and say, go check out the facts. And if she's motivated enough, she'll do it. And if she wants to
Yeah.
come back to me, then we'll get the deal done. But otherwise, why
Yeah.
waste time?
Yeah.
You might be
I
better
hear you.
off because David's exactly right. You might be able to say something like, well, Christina, I'm confused here. I don't know why you don't just list your property on the MLS.
Right.
Don't you think you'd get maximum profits and dollars and offers and all that just listing it on the MLS? I mean, it looks like a nice house. What's keeping you from doing that?
And counter arguments to that, I've gotten well, I'm just trying to get the most out of the house because it's already been discounted so and so much, and I don't want to pay the realtor fees and blah blah blah.
Great.
So in the end, they just want to make the most of their money too, which is fair, but doesn't really work for us either way.
Right. It doesn't work for
What
us.
if you took David's idea, and when you said go talk to your lender, you connected her to your preferred lender, who happens to be the best in the business, who is definitely going to give her the best deal, but also send her back your way.
I've tried this too.
No?
I have. And man, I am just no good at it. I can't make the marriage work for some reason.
Yeah.
Here's another suggestion. What if, Christina, what if you, we're not able to get your down payment right now, your deposit you need right now, 25,000 is a little bit too much for this current market that we're in right now. But would you consider doing this lease option agreement with us today to get a tenant buyer into your house, get you at least $10,000 down to get you started, and then in the meantime, have you ever considered renting an apartment for 6 months to a year as you collect that down payment from the tenant buyer? Maybe we could have them pay higher rate for the first year. Instead of $1,500 is $2,000, that $500 is going towards your down payment.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one.
I like this. This is super creative.
What about,
It's
hey,
really
Christina, we know you need it for your next house. How about we do a rent to own on that house also?
Boom! I was going to say that because David was right on the front porch.
Yeah.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
Hey, well, Christina, what if we put you in the house of your dreams and you were doing it, you were renting until these folks buy your house, then you could buy that house. Is that something we could put together or maybe not?
Oh,
That's different.
it.
Yeah.
that's
Good.
it.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna need some down payment out of somebody.
Yeah.
So you gotta think through this. See this,
Well, you're
like
double dipping with Christina now. Now she has to pay you a down payment for the option
I
fee.
know. So you got to think through this. These are great exercises because you got to be creative, and the more creative you are, the more opportunities you see, the more deals you can do.
Right.
Mhm.
Just that.
I think one of the problems is we have all these creative real estate people like me that want to teach people how to do stuff, but none of us have a creative course on how to be creative, how to think creatively. And really, we kind of, as adults, kind of are trained to not be so creative anymore because we have to live in a logical world where bills are due. It's like, okay, well, let's get back to the flexible brain here and get flexible and creative. And that's what we've really done today. And we're having a great time doing it, guys. At least I am. And coming up with these, well, how could we do this? We could break it down. We could separate it. We could split it. We could pay it up front. And then later we could, how can we? If we can find the way, then we can make money.
I feel like
Maybe there is no way.
right. Maybe there is no way. If we're getting creative and we are still not able to make a deal happen,
Okay.
probably we are their best option to actually get them as much money as they possibly can anyway. And if her motivation isn't there, then maybe it's in our follow-up system. It's
Yeah.
it's what David said, and it's a follow-up next month
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
her motivation shifts.
That's a B lead. That's what I call a B grade lead. That's a not now. That's a maybe later. The candy now and later.
Would you maybe bring up to her like, hey, how much the other house is going to cost you? Would you ask Christina that? Because if she says 400,000 and she says, yeah, I'm going FHA and it's on like 3% down, you might already know that it's 12 that she only needs, and maybe you can educate her, or what maybe like he said, she goes and finds out, and she comes back and she goes, hey, or you could even offer it like, I think it's going to be somewhere around 12, but check with your lender and see what he says, and let me get back to you, and let me call you back tomorrow and see what you found out.
Yeah.
Great. So if you only need $12,000 now, we can get you that full $24,000 you want, but we can get you $12,000 now and then $12,000 in a year in 12 months.
Yeah.
Would that be good enough for you to do business with us today?
Boom.
Maybe not.
He's unstoppable. Hey, you know why tenant
David.
buyers? You know why tenant buyers are going to be into that split up deal? You know why? Because most of them get their down payment money from what?
Selling the house?
Taxes?
Tax returns. Yeah.
Oh,
So I'll put a little bit down this year, next year out of my tax return. I'll put a little bit more down. And I gotta buy. Now I'm buying a house. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
look at
That's
that.
how that's what's going on up here.
It's that
Okay.
season.
All right. Love you guys. Have a good day. We'll see you
Thanks,
again.
guys.
Thanks a
All right,
lot,
bye.
man.